I know I mentioned this in my first video, but for those who don't know, I was born and raised in France until I was 14 years old. So besides a few family vacations to the United States and the teachings from my mother, I would say I'm mostly French in my culture and behavior. So, when I first moved to the United States, all of my preconceived knowledge was based solely off of movies and TV shows. What could possibly go wrong? Well, a lot apparently. For starters, it gave me a romanticized vision of the American lifestyle, social situations, and expectations of what American school would be like. What I mean is I was actually excited to start school in America. How crazy is that? I was in bed the night before the first day of school thinking my life was going to become a Disney Channel sitcom. And boy was I wrong! For example, as a kid I thought those yellow school buses were so cool. Of course, the only one I knew prior to that was the Magic School Bus. So, I was pretty disappointed. I say we blame the media for the impossible beauty standards set for transport vehicles. Because, as reality tends to do, the real version sucked. Seriously, how do American kids manage 12 years of riding these giant yellow caskets? I wanted to hang myself after the first month. And why is there no legroom? I know that you have to fit a lot of kids or whatever, but some of them are supposed to be adult-sized. And not everybody is a contortionist. Oh, and also, why do 6th graders on the bus exclusively communicate through yelling? Nobody cares what curse word you learned over the weekend. So stop it with the sound pollution. Next up on Steven's list of disappointments is the American school lunch. Well, this one isn't as much of a disappointment as it was just sheer ignorance on my part. How can I best explain this? So, going from eating French school lunches to American school lunches is kind of like going from Heath Ledger's beautiful portrayal of the Joker to whatever Jared Leto was doing. If I gave a score of 11 out of 10 to French school meal, an American school meal would maybe get a 0.000 out of 10. Some of you might think I show some bias because I believe French food is a lot better than American food. It is, but that's not the point. But believe me that I'm not exaggerating at all. If I were, why would my American friends bother to pack a lunch? In France, nobody packs a lunch, because they don't need to, because in France, they don't risk food poisoning every time they go to school. I honestly could not believe what they tried to pass as food sometimes. I started to question reality itself. I felt like I was on the Truman Show. Everyone was in on this big joke and they wanted to see how far they could push me until I went mad. Once I decided to try what the school claimed to be a steak sub, but the so-called meat actually looked like one of those public bathroom brown paper towels when it's all soggy and gross. There was no way you could make me believe that was edible. It had to be the punchline of some large-scale, sick, twisted prank. Let me tell you, it wasn't long until I ended up bringing my own luncheons every day. Of course, I graduated last summer, and I know there's no real point in me complaining about this anymore, but I still can't get over how inhumane it was to make someone eat that. This video is starting to sound a little too negative, so here are some things that actually met my expectations of what American public school is supposed to be like. Being able to choose your elective classes is far better than what we had in France. They forced everyone to take music classes, or art classes, or computer science classes, regardless of their skill or their wants. I hated the music classes the worst, because they made us learn the flute.
Qui c'est qui a dit il faut la flûte? Tu connais un gamin dans ton entourage qui est devenu flûtiste professionnel? Grâce au cours de flûte? En plus, tu peux pas avoir des bonnes notes en flûte, c'est impossible. Dès que tu essaies de répéter à la maison, tes parents ils disent arrête cette flûte!
So the point goes to America for that one. Next is, I don't know, what else are American schools good at? The teachers are nicer, I guess? Less rules? Either that or I just stopped caring in my last years. Oh, I know! The schoolwork is a lot easier. Like, laughable how easy it is. I'm not kidding. I was in sophomore year of high school learning math concepts I had already learned in French middle school. So easy, it should be impossible to fail to graduate. It didn't stop some people in my year, though. I mean, I'm not complaining. It made life easier for me. So thanks for being so behind on your education, America. So what's the conclusion? You're probably waiting for me to pick a side. Which country has the superior school experience? I've been asked that question a lot in the past years. And here is my official answer. Neither. The education system has room for improvement in both countries. In my experience, France is a little better at providing useful and quality education to their students, whereas in the United States, I had more fun learning what I did, and it had an easier time making friends and long-lasting relationships with people that I don't regret meeting at all. In the end, it doesn't really matter. I was seen as a foreigner regardless of where I was schooled. I hope you all enjoyed this little video about culture shock I made. Of course, there are a lot more examples on how France and America differ, but this video focused more on my first impressions of the United States schooling system. So I'll probably take up the topic again sometime in the future. So whatever. Thanks a lot for watching my video. Like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm just starting on YouTube, so that actually helps for the time being. So yeah, have a nice meal.